Konnichiwa. In this video, we're going to be learning how to pronounce contracted sounds in Japanese and how to write them in hiragana. So first, what do we mean by a contracted sound? So this is a combination of a consonant with either ya, yu, or yo. So how these are written in hiragana is with an I sound character, so this I sound character, ki, shi, chi, ni, etc. And then followed by a small ya, yu, or yo character. So let's look at an example. So this is just a non-contracted sound. Ishiya, ishiya. Not a very commonly used word, it means rock shop, right? So we get 3 beats here. Ishiya, ishiya. Now, the contracted counterpart. So you see we have the same shi and ya character, but the ya is small, right? So this is isha, isha. And you'll note that this contracted sound here is 1 beat. So usually 1 hiragana equals 1 syllable, equals 1 beat, but this is the exception to that rule. So when you have a contracted sound with a small ya, yu, or yo, these 2 characters combine to give us 1 beat. So we have ishiya, 3 beats, isha, 2 beats. So that's what a contracted sound is. So we can do this with any of the I sound characters. So I'm just going to read through them real quickly, what these sounds would sound like. So ki plus ya, yu, yo. Kya, kyu, kyo. G sound. Gya, gyu, gyo. Sha, shu, sho. Ja, ju, jo. Cha, chu, cho. Nya, nyu, nyo. Hya, hyu, hyo. Bya, byu, byo. Pya, pyu, pyo. Nya, myu, myo. And rya, ryu, ryo. This can be somewhat challenging to pronounce sometimes because it's that darirurero, that tap sound combined with a Y sound. So this might take some practice, but that's how these contracted characters work. So let's compare some words where the only difference is the sound contracted or is it not? So I'll read them both and make sure you can hear the difference between them. So first, kyo, kyo. Kyo is good with one's hands. Kyo is today. Next, jiu, ju. Jiu is freedom. Ju is 10. Right? Next, ryo, ryo. Ryo is use. Ryo is dorm. And finally, hyaku, hyaku. Hyaku is a leap forward, a jump. Hyaku is 100. So you can see this makes a difference in how these, this small pronunciation difference makes a difference in the meaning of the words. So you need to make sure you can pronounce it correctly and distinguish it correctly when you hear it. Okay, so one final note. So we've seen, so this ya, small ya, yu, and yo, and then there's also the small tsu that appears in double consonants. So just a brief note on how these are written. So when we write horizontally, you can write either vertically or horizontally in Japanese, but when we write horizontally, we want these small characters to be in the lower left-hand corner of the box. So if we think of every hiragana as taking up kind of a square box, these are short, so they're 1/2 the height and 1/2 the width of the regular characters. And they would appear, if you're writing in boxes, they appear in the lower left-hand box. If you're not, if you're just writing on lines, you want to kind of imagine them as positioned in that way. The same goes for vertical writing, the size-wise at least, but the positioning is a little bit different. So in vertical writing, you need to position them in the upper right-hand corner of the box. So that's just a little bit of difference when you're writing in horizontal or vertical. Okay, so that concludes the video on contracted sounds. So until next time, じゃあまた。